Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I'm up here in Fargo, North Dakota. It's a beautiful fall day. I just love this time of year. Not only because it's hunting season, but it's cooling down a little bit, and the just everything is changing colors. Some really cool colors this time of year. So tonight we're going to bring you some great testimonials from people, real people who have been using the Sizzle products and getting results. And we can't say cure or we can't say treat or anything like that. So when we're talking to people, some people might make the mistake of saying that they got cured, but in their opinion, it's gotten rid of things. But we really can't use those words, so we're gonna try not to say that. But you just never know what might get said. So I'm not gonna say that it won't. So hang on one second. We're going to bring our first guest on the call, Christy Kopecki from down in Oklahoma. Welcome to the call.
Hey there. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on. You've been taking Sizzle products now for what, about 5 years?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. I thought I was keeping track of that pretty close. So, in your background, you're an RN, right?
No, I'm an LVN.
Okay. I was thinking you and RN, you seem to have a really good knowledge of nutrition and some background. I like the research that you're always posting on Facebook, and it's so helpful when we're trying to explain these products to people.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And the same to you. I love reading your posts.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sometimes I get a little bit more conspiracy thinking than most people, but I try and hold back most of the time. So, well, Christy, tell us a little bit about kind of like maybe what kinds of things you noticed before you started taking the Sizzle products, and then tell us what products you're taking, and then give us a little bit about how you're feeling now, what kind of energy, and how much younger do you feel?
It's been an amazing 4.5 years. I have some backstory with me. I've been a nurse for 30 years, 31 years. And, I wasn't taught the way that we think now with using Sizzle products, the nutritionals and things like that. Things were just different. And when I started, I was very skeptical, like a lot of people are. I mean, I might have been my own worst enemy with this, but I did the research and I thought I'm going to give this a try. 13 medications is what I was taking when I started with Sizzle, from everything high blood pressure medications, hormone stuff. I was taking high cholesterol medications. And within just a few months, I was coming off this stuff. And I've been off of it ever since. 13 medications gone. And
wow.
Kurt, honestly, when I started this, I couldn't even play with my grandchildren. I would tire out so fast. And I had a lot of issues with my back and stuff, and I love chiropractors. So, that was my greatest thing, is finding that person that could adjust those things for me. But taking the products such as Renovator and the Triangle of Life and those type things have really reduced that inflammation and got me on the track that I needed to be on. And so, every time Tom comes out with a new product, I'm like, right there, I want it, because I know that this stuff has helped me so much. So at this point, I take Fucoid and Eternity. I take a Renovator occasionally. I don't have to take it anymore every day like I first started, because it corrected whatever problem that I had with my hips, my back, things like that. Now occasionally I'll get a twinge and I'll think, oh, Renovator time, and I'll take it, and hey, it works. It stops it. And when the hydrogen water came out, that to me, I'd never really looked at that until, of course, Tom started talking about it. And that is absolutely incredible. And like I posted, I don't know if anybody's seen it on my Facebook, but I had a pulse oximeter, and I've been, unfortunately, a smoker for many, many years now. And it's one of the habits I just can't seem to get over. Luckily, I have Sizzle, and that is helping me to overcome some things with that. But when I drink that hydrogen water, I checked my pulse ox, using a pulse oximeter to check the oxygen saturation, and it went from 92 to 98 no more than 5-10 minutes after I finished my bottle of hydrogen water. It was absolutely unreal. And so I was proving myself a point there. I have a gentleman who, his wife buys the products for him. He has lung cancer. And he told me that he also experiences different respirations and things that he doesn't feel so short of breath when he drinks the hydrogen water. Sorry, I'm trying to get, my dog is in here. He's bugging me. But so, yeah, I mean, it like opens you up, you know, and, you know, from being a smoker, you know, a lot of times we have, you know, the excess mucus and things like that. I don't have that. I did prior to taking Sizzle, but I don't have that any longer. So that's one of the things that I've noticed, you know, this happened. But there's just been so many things. I mean, I could go on for a long time because there were so many things that I was diagnosed with that no longer are there.
Wow.
I haven't been to a doctor, you know, and about this time every year I would come down with severe upper respiratory infections to where I was on steroids, getting shots of antibiotics, on breathing treatments, on inhalers. And it always hit me September, October, then again, probably March and April. I have not had that, not one time in this 4.5 years. And so, yeah, I promote it. I totally back this 100%. You know, do we need doctors for diagnosis and diagnostics and things like that? Yeah, we have to have that because we have to know what we're looking at. But, you know, this natural side of things has just been an incredible ride for me, and it continues to be that way.
You bet. Well, Christy, you know, I remember when we were at one of the conventions and your back was just killing you. So that is so nice to hear.
Well, I had fallen. I had fell while we were there, and I tweaked it even more.
Wow. So that's just super fantastic just for that part of it, you know. And you talked about being skeptical. You know, I try and tell people this: if you're not skeptical in today's world, you're going to get ripped off because you're going to believe anything that any used car salesman is going to tell you. So you have to be skeptical, but at least you weren't so skeptical that it let you stand in front of your progress, in front of trying.
Right. Exactly.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. And how much younger do you feel?
You know, a lot younger. I mean, just like I said, I would get out and weed my flower beds and things like that. And I couldn't do it more than 30 minutes without barely getting up, for one thing. But I was just wore out, you know. It was just like my energy was gone. And I've been retired, I haven't worked per se on the floor as a nurse in 8 years or so. No, probably longer than that because I was consulting before. But anyway, I would be so wore out from just walking around facilities and doing the normal thing that I needed to get done. I was exhausted. So this has given me that extra boost. I'm not sleepy all the time. I don't want to take a nap in the afternoon. I mean, occasionally it's a nice thing, but before I was like, oh, I've got to lay down. And you know, being able to play with the grandkids and things like that. Even I'm just 51 years old. There was no reason for me to be in the condition I was in. But I truly believe that those 13 medications that I was on was hindering me so much. And then when I got those problems corrected, whatever was causing, you know, everything, which was probably totally inflammation from the way I'm understanding things. So it just allowed me to become stronger, healthier, more energetic, all those things. So yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing tonight. And, you know, I'm going to mute you back out, but thanks for sharing. And I'll make sure and get you a copy of this recording.
All right. Thanks. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run up to Minneapolis, Minnesota, you know, and Lisa, I just read something on the internet today. You know, St. Paul is mentioned in the Bible, but Minneapolis isn't. What do you think of that?
God hasn't forgotten me. That's what I know.
Well, you know, I know your testimony, a lot of the same symptoms that Christy was noticing as far as energy and cholesterol and all those things. But I'm not going to steal your story. I'm going to hand it over to you. And, you know, if you want to tell folks kind of even what your doctor had to say when they saw the results of your blood tests.
Yeah, well, I guess I started this about 4.5 years ago as well. And there wasn't a specific purpose other than better general health. that I had in mind that I was trying to address at the time, although I knew I had high cholesterol and I was on the verge of being put on medication for it, which I was fighting because they had tried to put me on it for about 4 months, and I got all the classic side effects of muscle cramping, my arm falling asleep. I mean, all of the bad things that are associated with those types of medications that you take for cholesterol. And yep, I was hitting them. And so I went to another doctor and I got off them, and they said, let's watch it for 6 more months and check you again. And in the meantime, I started the Sizzle products. And my staples in the beginning were Fucoidan, Eternity, 3/4 an ounce of each once a day. I also was taking at that time, the age pill wasn't out yet, but I was taking Brain Vitality, Balance D, Inner Chi, and Renovator. And I had all sorts of hip problems on one of my hips too. I would wake up in the morning and feel like I was about 100 years old when I'd roll out of bed. But I used to be a runner, and I was kind of doing that on and off and hadn't done it for about 9 months to a year when I started taking the products again. And I started feeling a lot better within a couple months, and I started running again. I have to admit, I still wasn't good about watching what I was eating, but I was feeling a heck of a lot better. And 3-4 months into it, I went in for my annual physical, and they did the blood workup as they always do. And my doctor called me back and said, we need to go over your lipid profile. And I went, oh crap, here it goes. I'm going to get put on something again. And I know how my body reacted the last time they tried to put me on something. And so she said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, we should discuss it because you need to continue. And she said, your LDL, or which is your bad cholesterol, your low density lipoprotein, has gone from 160 to 119. She said your triglycerides were at 105. They are now at 48.
Wow.
And your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, went from 65 to 79. And that's what she and the nurse were the most shocked about, because she said, no matter what medication we were to give you to take your total cholesterol down, it wouldn't raise your good cholesterol. It would lower your bad, but it wouldn't raise your good. You're doing something that has raised your good cholesterol an insane amount in 4 months.
Wow.
And so I told her the products I was on, and then the nurse said, I'd like to talk to you about it, because she said, like Dr. Kennedy said, we've never seen someone raise their HDL like this. And she said, and without statins and such, it's hard to take your bad down, which you've done, and you haven't done it by diet, food wise. But she said the raise in your HDL is just absolutely alarming. And I kept telling my kids I feel better, and that's just because you think you do. I said, nope, I got test results now that prove I feel better. And my hips don't hurt anymore in the morning when I get out of bed. And I've been running 4 or 5 days a week again, and I don't get shin splints. I have no pain in my joints. And then I added the age pill, a year and a half ago now. And I just continue to feel better.
Wow.
It's been great.
So in the beginning of your conversation, the beginning of your story, you said you felt like you're almost 100. How young do you feel now?
Well, it depends on what day you ask me and what kind of grief my kids are giving me. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd put an age to it. I don't feel my age. I'm 60 years old. People guess me to be about 15 years younger.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably, I don't know what you're supposed to feel like at 60, but if this is how you're supposed to feel at 60, then I don't mind 60.
There you go. Right. If this is how you feel at at 60, you're not going to mind being 70 in 10 years from now, or 80 in 20 years. Right.
Well, exactly. And, although we can't say for obvious reasons with the FDA treat or cure or whatever, what I can say is that it has definitely addressed the conditions I had. because it's the changes in my test results.
You bet. And what products are you taking currently?
Oh God. So I still take the Ficoidin and the Renovator. Every day I take Inner Chi. I added Vital Vision to it. I take Balance D, Brain Vitality. And then once in a while I take the Super Omega vitamins. But on the Renovator, just like Christy said, I still take it every day, but I don't, it recommends 2 pills twice a day. I only take 2 in the morning. And I did increase my age pill to 4 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. I can't take them at night because it tends to keep me awake a little bit. So I just take it in the late afternoon. And then I usually, after I take my second dose of the age pill, I go on my run. And it gives me an extra boost of energy too. But that seemed to be the golden ticket for me. I mean, I probably take 20 pills a day. And people say, oh my God, how do you do that? And I'll tell you what, the difference is, I haven't been sick. I've been sick. Well, I take it back. I've been sick 1 time in 4.5 years. And I'm quite sure that the time I did get sick was from a residual effect of antibiotics they put me on from a surgery. And I remember talking to you, Kurt, and you had me I started drinking the breath freshener. I don't know if you remember this, but
The Terminator. Yes, I do.
Terminator for my gut. And I had been sick for 3 weeks. I couldn't keep anything down or in. And within 2.5 days of doing baking soda and the Terminator, it was all cleared up. And they had tried a lot of different medications, not knowing what was wrong with me. And I think it was an antibiotic effect. But since then, I have not been sick once. And I'm quite sure the only reason I got sick then was because of a surgery and antibiotics. But I mean, it's great not to be sick. So people say, how can you take that many vitamins a day? Well, you know what? Is it worth not getting sick and not having to call in sick to work or feel like crap and still have to function? Absolutely, any day of the week. And I'd spend a lot more money if I had to go on a regimen of antibiotics or was hospitalized or something else with all the crap that goes around. I travel quite a bit, and I think it's what keeps me healthy.
There you go. Well, Lisa, thanks for sharing your story with us, and I know you're going to stay in good health the rest of your life, and with after meeting your mom, I can tell you're probably going to have a long life too.
I hope so. Yeah, the apple didn't fall far.
There you go. Well, thanks, Lisa, and thanks for being on the call with us tonight and sharing your story. What a great story.
My pleasure. Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you. Bye. All right. So now we're going to run down to Australia, and we're going to talk to Millie. Millie, hang on 1 second here. I'm transferring you over to the call. How are you tonight?
I lost you for 5 minutes. We got storms here.
Is that a car part I see behind you?
Yes, it is. An XW grill.
I love it. If you were at my house, you'd see car parts in here too. So, everyone that knows Millie or knows her husband John, they fix up old cars like I do. But anyhow, Millie, tell us a little bit about your story, how you got started, and what you've noticed, what products you're taking.
Well, I'm going to talk about John today.
Okay.
My partner. Okay. John's 80 years old, and he had arthritis, a toothache, and anxiety, depression, and suicidal tendencies. So that's what I'm going to talk about. He's been taking the hydrogen water sticks, and he has type 2 diabetes. And as soon as he takes the hydrogen water stick, it keeps it below 6. And he's if he misses a day, it goes up to the 7s and the 8s. So he knows that he's got to have his hydrogen water stick. So he loves that. his arthritis in his thumbs. Well, he couldn't do his car parts. Well, now he's back in the shed building hot rods over the last 12 months because of the age pill. He's now got his thumbs. You use your thumbs a lot to undo things, nuts, bolts, and he couldn't do his cars. And he used to sit in the chair, and it made him so depressed that he couldn't go and work on cars because his thumbs ached so much.
Mhm.
And now he's back in the shed playing with his cars. And that's all because of the age pill.
All
So
right.
if we go without our age pill, then you know what happens.
That's right. That's right. Well, I remember when I was down in Australia and he came and gave his testimonial there in Sydney. And what a great testimonial he gave back here about, what was that, 7 months ago now?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And he definitely doesn't look 80 years old. The other day when he told me that on the phone, I was like, no way.
Yeah, he certainly is 80. And that's what I mean. I've just turned 62.
Yeah.
So
you guys don't look your age, son.
I just love the age pill and what it does for us. The age pill's also got a mood enhancer, which is very, very good for his anxiety, stress, and depression. John also had suicidal tendencies where he wanted to end his life and just get out of here. But now he's got a new motivation on life, and he's loving it. So, yes.
All right. Well, and everybody that what Millie's talking about in the age pill, there's something called 5-hydroxytryptophan, and you're probably familiar with tryptophan. That's what's in turkey. When you eat turkey, it makes you feel tired. You know, here in the United States at Thanksgiving in November, everybody eats a bunch of turkey, and the whole family falls asleep watching football, and that's because of the tryptophan, and 5-HTP or 5-hydroxytryptophan is an activated form of tryptophan, and it's actually found in the age pill. And they found that it helps to support healthy stem cells.
Yeah.
So excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know, and so thanks for sharing John's story.
There's one other thing that he's got too. He's got a toothache. He will not go to the dentist. So he's got a really bad tooth, and the age pill addresses the pain in the tooth. So he no longer has the pain for his toothache.
Wow. He can take a little bit of the toothpaste and put it right on there too, and it'll help prevent any kind of an infection from starting because of the ingredients in the toothpaste and the mouthwash.
Wow. Thank you, Kurt.
You bet. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, and you have a wonderful day down there in Australia.
I will, Dale. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to run over to Michigan. We're going to talk to Andrea, and I'm going to unmute her and bring her onto the video here. So, Andrea, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. Can you see me?
I can see you. Do you want your video on or off?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, it's okay if it's on.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I know you've had some
Well,
great
I love
some
the
great
testimonies
stories.
that we're having.
Yeah. So if you want to share your story, how you got started and what you've noticed, what products you're taking.
Okay. Well, my main go-to ingredient or supplement is the H pill. It's the product that I got super excited about, and had all kinds of results from it very quickly within the first 7 months. And I've been taking it for 2 years now. And I'm still noticing some things and going, I wonder if it's that H pill that's doing that, you know? So, you know, I had things like my skin improved, my eyesight's improved. I got rid of nerve pain in my legs and my feet. Oh geez, there's just so much. It seems like my nails improved. Like I used to have big grooves in my fingernails, and they're all smooth now. Yeah, that's good. You know, got improvement in my veins and my hands. Like I noticed them going down within 4 months.
Right.
So, and a lot of people report that, that they have improvement in their veins, spider veins, varicose veins, things like that. So it just kind of depends on what you've got going on in your own body.
Well, I know
Seems like.
you've been talking about the different changes that you've felt, the different functions that you've noticed that have improved. But tell us about your hair. Tell us about what's happened with your hair for those women and guys too that dream about not having any gray hair. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Right. Well, I used to have a lot of white hair up front. I still light. It's like blondish now. And then in the back, it got darker again. So, and a lot of people have reported that. I didn't notice it until this year. So I thought it wasn't going to work on redheads, but it's starting to.
There
So
you go.
great.
Well, and I know you've said that you used to actually dye your hair, and now you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I didn't dye. I stained it with henna, but I haven't done that in a while.
All right. So, folks, just check out the different testimonials that we've had. We've got Christy that had just horrible back pain. I'm telling you, when I saw her at the convention, she could barely move. That's how bad her back was. She was in tears. The pain was so bad. She said she couldn't get down on the floor to play with her kids. Her cholesterol, the different markers for the cardiovascular system were up. And all of that has come down, and she's having no more back pain. She feels like she's a lot younger. She's got more energy. Then we had Lisa get on, and Lisa shared with us that, she's got more energy. She used to have hip pain and knee pain. She couldn't run anymore. Her blood markers were up as well, and that's all come down. And then we heard Millie, and she was talking about her husband, John, how he was actually suicidal. He didn't want to live any longer. And he had arthritis in his hand so bad that he couldn't do the things that he enjoyed doing. And he started taking these products, primarily the H2 water and the H pill, and all of a sudden he's got his life back. And now we go to Andrea, and same thing. Just similar stories. And on top of it, she's noticing changes with her skin and changes with her vision and changes with her hair. Any other things that you've noticed, Andrea?
Well, energy levels have increased greatly, and everyone I've heard talk about the H pill have said, their energy increases. Like in the beginning for me, it actually, I slept every day in the afternoon. I was like, why am I so tired and everybody else has so much energy? But I think it was because I had a lot of toxins in my body and they were getting cleansed out. And so that's like kind of a byproduct of that happening. And after about 6 weeks, I just started getting the energy. And like, I go all day, like I'm 65 almost. And I just work all day. I'll be at 8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm still looking for things to do. And I'm like, this is crazy that I just have all this go all day long, and I like that. And I actually have, I have someone else's testimony about using CBD oil, if you would like me to share that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Well, they didn't want to share it themselves, but I'll share it for them. They have herpes simplex on their lips, which is cold sores, if anybody doesn't know that. They call it cold sores, but it's actually a virus that you get. And she was using a product, over-the-counter product, that she told me that if you put it on like right away when you're starting to feel like you're getting one of these disruptions, that, it would negate it and it would not come on. And so she started putting CBD oil on whenever she felt that. Well, now she's using it every day, but at first she was using it and it would go away, like it wouldn't happen.
So she was putting the CBD oil right where the cold sore was going to erupt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, that's a great thing to know. I was just talking to somebody this afternoon, and they said they felt a cold sore coming on, and I wish I would have known that then.
Yeah, well, you can call them back tomorrow and tell them.
Oh, I'll be calling them back tonight.
Yeah, and she says now she just every night she puts it on her lips and goes to bed.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder what it tastes like when her husband kisses her, though.
Orange, I think.
Orangey. All right. She's fruity. All right. Well, thanks for sharing with us tonight. And I'm just going to add that at 65, you certainly don't look your age.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
you look a lot younger, and I bet you feel a lot younger as well.
Oh, I feel younger than I think I would have felt at 65.
There you go. That's the same thing that Lisa said. Who will mind turning 70 or 80 if they can feel like this, right?
Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to mute you out. Thanks for being with us, Andrea, and I'm going to run up to Deborah down to Deborah down in Australia. So, hi, Deborah.
Well, I'm actually not in Australia. I'm in Houston, Texas.
Oh, you're in Houston.
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking that you were in Australia.
No, I actually found out about Sissel through Marcia, who lives in Australia.
Okay. Well, super. Isn't that funny how we can span continents and span the oceans and just go across the world and share these products?
Right. So she shared it with me in July. I have fibromyalgia. I've been a hairstylist for 45 years. So I've been in a lot of chemicals, and it was so bad that I couldn't even get up out of a chair. Sometimes my husband would have to help me. And I had my vitamin D checked, and it was down to level 13.
Wow.
And so I've been in other companies. And so I was real skeptical, especially since I met her online. She had posted a comment through Dr. Gundy's site. And so I messaged her and asked her for some information. And so she introduced me to Sissel. And so I started taking the age pill in July. And the first thing I noticed in 2 weeks was the energy. Along with that, I started, repairing my gut and was on a very strict eating plan. So all of it combined, I feel better than I have felt in years.
Fantastic.
I take the, I'm not going to say it wrong, the Foikodon? Focoidin. I take that religiously every day, and I'm adding products, along as I can, and as I learn what I need to take. The crazy thing is, the first thing that people notice about me, like in my work environment, well, my husband noticed it first. He said, your arms look thinner. And so then the next thing at work, people started commenting on my arms. Like, I said, well, what about my arms? Well, they're more defined. And, I need to lose about 60 pounds because I was in this, I felt so bad that I couldn't even come home and cook. I ate bad food because I just felt bad. And so I was just sick and tired of being sick. And I have been on many other products and they just didn't work. And so I am just so excited I'm like the other women. I wished I'd been on it for 4 years. So I'm excited what it's going to do for me in the beginning, or, on down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were talking about like kind of slipping into a little bit of depression. I know exactly what you're feeling like. After my motorcycle accident 12 years ago, I wasn't able to do any of the things that I like to do. I was pretty much stuck at home, and you do slip into a depression. And once I started taking these products, mentally I started feeling better, and my memory started to work better, and just my whole outlook on life changed. And that's kind of what you're saying too.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because memory fog was a huge thing for me. I would be talking to a client and I couldn't remember. It was there in my head, but I just couldn't retrieve it. And my memory fog is almost gone.
Nice.
Yep. So
nice.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to have to do is maybe every 3 or 4 months, let's get you on the call so you can share kind of your updates on how you're doing.
Okay.
That'd be fun to kind of follow you along. And I mean, is it making you feel a lot younger now?
Well, I'm 64, and so I've always felt young. I mean, even though I was sick, I always felt like I had a young heart. Then when you turn 64, I'm thinking, man, I need to work till I'm 70 at least. And because I own my own business, and it's like I have to be healthy so I can work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just grabbing it, and I'm so thankful to Marcia that she just opened up her heart and her knowledge and just poured it out to me, without asking anything back.
Right.
So I'm very excited.
Well, I know I've talked to a couple people that Marcia has shared her story with, and like you, they're just noticing some great changes. So, well, thanks for sharing your story with us tonight, and we'll get you back on in about 3 months or so.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. So, let's see, we've got. I think we got time for one more testimonial here. I'm just looking. Let's see, I was looking for Gail, but I don't see her there. So I am going to bring, I'm actually going to bring Marcia onto the call because Marcia has a great testimonial, and it's made a difference in a lot of people's lives. So Marcia, I'm going to let you tell your story.
Oh, hi, Kurt. Well, that was a bit unexpected, but very happy to share.
Do you want your video on or off, since you weren't expecting it?
I'll leave it off.
Okay, hang on. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I started the age pill in, I think it was at the end of May last year. And around that time, I was, had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Sorry, no, I hadn't been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis yet. I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I was very, very, very unwell. I was walking into walls. I was very, very dizzy. I had some bladder incontinence. I was very, very shaky. I had pain in my neck and back, so full body systemic pain. I couldn't walk longer than about 10 minutes. I had a lot of memory loss, and my cognitive function really was very, very bad. So I found it difficult to have conversations with people. I really socially regressed because I couldn't remember people's names. So I was always very, very worried and scared that if I'd meet somebody while I was out that I wouldn't remember their names. So then I started the age pill. That was at the end of May last year. And within 8 weeks, I was back at full-time work. I still wasn't 100%, of course, but I probably felt like I was about 80% better. But what had helped me to realize and distinguish is that I had some gut health issues, which the age pill doesn't really address as quickly. It was more the memory and cognitive function and neurological symptoms that the age pill really helped me with. So I felt a lot happier within 3 to 4 weeks. I suddenly felt like I'd woken up for the first time in many, many years, because I'd been sick for about 7 years, going to all sorts of doctors and specialists and, all kinds of natural therapists. I think I counted about a dozen that I went to see, and they all did, help to some degree to reduce my symptoms to some point. But I never really, obviously, I was still very sick, so I never really regained my full health until I started the age pill. So that's the one really that I like to talk about the most, because it had the biggest impact on my health. And I'm still on it today. I've double dosed from the day that I started. And when I tried to go down to 3 morning and afternoon, I just didn't really feel the same. All my depression is completely 100% gone. And look, I wouldn't have been able to have this conversation with you a year ago, Kurt, or, back in May last year. So I wasn't really able to concentrate. I keep losing track of my my thoughts and my words. I couldn't think of my words. It was very embarrassing. I didn't tell anybody. I was, just embarrassed, really. So now here I am. I've got clients all over the world, like yourself, Deborah. So thank you for coming on and giving us your testimonial. It's very heartwarming to be able to help others to regain their health. So of course, I want to share this with as many people as I can. Because like many others too, I felt that it was, I didn't know where to turn. I went to the medical profession and they couldn't really help me. They did all they could for me, which was to prescribe lots of drugs, to suppress the symptoms, but that just didn't sit very well with me. So I just kept researching and asking and listening to, podcasts and looking online and talking to friends. And eventually I came across the age pill and I'll never look back.
Wow. What a fantastic story. I know when I met you in February of this year, just, 7 months ago or so, it was just a heartwarming story that you told. And I remember I think it was your stepmom that was sitting next to you, and she didn't even know how bad you were. And when you told your story, it was like, you could just see it in her face, like, holy cow.
Mm.
Yeah. So, well, Marcia, thanks for sharing. And I know your story is good, is heartwarming.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't really able to walk.
Yeah. It's one of those stories that when people hear it, like Deborah heard it, they want to start taking, they want to get what you got, so that they can get over it. And people ask me all the time, well, how can these products make that kind of change? Because we can't say cure, we can't say treat, anything like that. But what happens is that when you take a look at toxins, what toxins do is they block your body from being able to metabolize vitamins and minerals. They block the receptor sites so that your minerals and vitamins, your nutrients can't get to where they're going. And so when you start listening to people like Marcia and Deborah and Lisa and Christy and Andrea and Millie, they keep telling you how they started noticing these improved functions in their body. Well, what happens is that you remove the bad stuff, you let the good stuff work the way it's supposed to. All of a sudden, your body just starts to do what it's supposed to do. Nobody ever said you have to feel old when you get old. And that's one of the biggest keys that we want to remember. So, Marcia, anything else that you can tell everyone?
Gosh, I did think of something, but it's just left me. No, I'm sorry. I can't think of anything else to add. I've got lots and lots, so don't get me started because we'll be here for an hour.
All right. Well, we'll get you back on next month.
Grateful, for your help as well, because you've been there to support me and available to have a chat to on the phone for free. So anybody who wants to reach out to Kurt, I highly recommend getting in touch. I've got the link, so just please feel free to ask, and we can share that with other people that we know that are suffering, because you've got a great story as well. And an excellent knowledge of all the products. So yeah, that's probably the last bit that I would like to add, is to reach out to Dr. Kurt.
Well, thanks, Marcia. I sure appreciate it. Yeah, I love the science. I love the products. In fact, right after this call, if you want to jump back on this same Zoom call, we're going to be back on here in just a few minutes after this call ends, and we're gonna do a call. We're going to talk a little bit about how the products work with each other, and which products should be taken in the morning, which products should be taken with food. And I'll kind of give like a little bit of reason why, so that you can understand why certain products should be taken at different times of the day. So everyone, Marcia and Lisa and Christy and Millie and Andrea, Deborah, thanks for being with us tonight and sharing your story. For those of you that are listening to this on YouTube or on Facebook, thanks for taking the time. Have a great evening.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Kurt. Good night.
Bye.